Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Exceptional Stories and the People Who Live Them. Your host is Steve Dover, a special needs advocate and father of two special needs sons. This is a faith-based, in-depth conversation-styled podcast with and for parents of special needs children. This podcast will let you have a front row seat to hear how they do it, why they do it, and what you can learn from their experiences as they share their exceptional stories. Let's get started. Hey there, incredible listeners of Exceptional Stories and the People Who Live Them. We have an exciting opportunity for you to make your mark on our podcast. We know you have your own stories, insights, and unique perspectives to share, and now it's easier than ever. Introducing SpeakPipe, the user-friendly web-based tool that lets you connect with us through voice messages. SpeakPipe is accessible to everyone no matter what platform you use. You can leave a voice message of up to 90 seconds in length, and your messages could be a game changer for us. Share your thoughts, feedback, personal stories, and ideas for future episodes by visiting www.speakpipe.com/exceptional stories podcast. Or you can find the link in the show notes. Your voice matters, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.
In this week's emotionally compelling episode, we have the privilege of sitting down with Valorie Sibley, a resilient and inspiring mother whose journey unfolds in the extraordinary life of her 8-year-old daughter, Audrey Lane. Audrey Lane grapples with a very rare genetic mutation, the DNM-1 gene mutation, and Valorie will shed light on the daily challenges and triumphs of living with such a condition. She will also generously share the intricacies of Audrey's life, opening a poignant narrative that speaks to the heart of the special needs parenting community. As Valorie opens up about the impact of DNM-1 gene mutation on Audrey's life, you will gain a profound understanding of the unique experiences that define their family. Valuable advice for parents facing similar circumstances is woven throughout the conversation, providing a beacon of support and empathy. You will discover how horseback riding has become an integral part of Audrey Lane's therapy, showcasing the innovative approaches embraced by families navigating the complexities of rare genetic conditions. With no cure for DNM-1 and a decrease in life expectancy starting in the early teen years, Valorie shares the family's approach to making the most of every precious day. So stay tuned for an episode that resonates with courage, resilience, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her extraordinary daughter.
Welcome back to another episode of Exceptional Stories and the People Who Live Them. I'm your host, Steve Dover, and today I have a very special guest with me that I want you to hear more about, learn more about. Valorie Sibley is with me today, and we're going to be talking about her daughter, Audrey Lane, and a very rare, unique condition that she has. And we're just going to try to cover as much of that as we can in the time that we have. Valorie, how are you doing? Thank you for coming on the show.
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Well, tell me about Audrey Lane. She's 8 years old, and walk us through how you found out about her diagnosis, what that diagnosis is, and let's kind of get some stuff out of the way first, so we'll know which way to go.
Well, we started noticing different things with Audrey around 4 to 5 months old, but we wasn't sure what it was. And we went through all kinds of things, but we did not actually. We found out she was having seizures at about a year old, and we changed neurologists, so we didn't. At that time when we did the genetic testing, paperwork got shuffled from different, the doctors and stuff. So technically, we didn't find out what she had until 2018. So.
Okay, and how old was she at that point?
3.
3 years old. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
and
it was just a learning curve for us. So.
What were some of the signs you were seeing that alerted you that there may be a problem?
Well, she had first started rolling over like every 4-month-old does, and then it stopped. And she started having these little infantile spasms, is what now we know what they were. We didn't know it at first. And, I just kept telling her pediatrician something's not right. He just kept sending us to different places.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, we were at one place and she had a seizure on that doctor, and they got us into a neurologist. And that's when
Mm.
they started doing testing on her.
Okay. And what was there any initial thought as to what may be causing it, or what?
They weren't sure. They threw out a couple of things at us, but,
Uh-huh.
all those tests come back negative,
Okay.
so.
All right. What you kind of sent me some information on this, and I told you I had to do some research because I had never heard of this before. But as I started researching it, I found out that there are a lot of folks that have to deal with this. It's not as popular or prominent as like autism or leukemia
No,
or something like that.
definitely.
But what was she finally diagnosed with?
She was diagnosed with DNM-1 mutation genetic.
And what is that?
It is a little variant there in her genes that
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know how to say, what it causes, but I mean it's causes seizures, developmental delay. She has all of that. Now there's some
Yeah.
children that have the same as what she has, but they're worse off than Audrey. Audrey actually can walk and stand and do things,
Mm-hmm.
but verbally, we're limited to so many words.
Yeah.
She's still she's 8, but she's still somewhat like a 2-year-old,
Okay.
and but now she can get her point across to you, but it might take
I
you a
have no
minute to
doubt.
figure it out.
Yeah. Our youngest son was he had a rare genetic disorder. XQ28 duplication is what he was diagnosed with, and he passed away in 2015. But he was nonverbal just about all of his life, but that does not mean he could not communicate.
Right.
He knew how to get what he wanted, and he did not
I
use
am sure.
words. He did not use
Right.
words to do it.
He found other ways.
He found it, and it was very effective. I will tell you that it was
Yes,
very effective.
they are
Um,
very effective.
yeah. What are some of the challenges that you face right now with this diagnosis, with it being rare, as rare it is as it is, and you're seeing it every day? What are some of the big challenges you're having to face right now?
Well, Audrey can't do a lot of things for herself. She can't
Okay.
tell you when something's hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she's very determined. I will say
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
We're not potty trained. That
Okay.
is one of our goals is
Okay.
to get there. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
was our goal for her to walk, and she finally did without any assistant at age 4. So,
Okay.
we set little goals, and that's what we work
Yeah.
towards with her.
Yeah.
But it's a daily struggle sometimes. Some days are worse than others, but
Yeah.
she,
Are Are there any ongoing medical issues that she has, or
just
what?
seizures, and I
So.
mean, yeah, just seizures is all, and it's resistant to medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So her medicine does calm it down, but it does not stop them.
Okay. What with it being as rare it is as it is, what support are you able to find, or what from the medical community? How are your doctors dealing with it?
We have a great neurologist. He has been studying up on it. And me and him actually found a doctor in Houston, Texas, that has a child that she treats for this. So we actually flew out in August of 2018 to meet
Mm-hmm.
with that doctor, and she gave us some news. I mean, it wasn't what my husband and I wanted, but
Right.
it's what we needed to hear, so we
Yeah.
could prepare for her future.
Well, yeah. a lot of the parents I talk with, when they have that conversation with their doctor and they get that final diagnosis, or they get a diagnosis, I'll say it that way. They don't want a bunch of pie in the sky stuff. A lot of them don't want to know 5 or 10 years down the road. They want to know, okay, what do we need to do today? What do we need to do in 3 months, or what do we need to expect? And the doctors are usually good about giving that information. I think they're limited some by fear of being sued or something for telling you this is going to happen and then it doesn't. So they don't want to get your hopes up too high. But we were always of the mindset, just tell us what we're dealing with. Just tell us what we're dealing with.
We just want to know so we can take it day by day, and that's what we told her when we flew out there. We might not ever be able to come back. And she wanted us to come back, but it's just too far to have to travel to Houston,
To Houston, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Houston's a little ways out there from Heflin, Alabama. That you can't.
It sure is.
It's not on the other side of the county for sure.
No.
Have you found any particular therapies or interventions that help
we
during this time?
Yeah, we do regular therapy. She gets speech and occupational and physical at school. Plus, we do an extra physical outside of school for her. And it's really helped. And she's also done horseback riding lessons to help with her balance and before she started walking. And that really helped a lot.
I'm hearing a lot about that. Just about a big majority of the kids that do that are physically able to do that, it really helps them. It makes a huge difference.
It does help with their balance, and we could tell a big difference after she started. The way she was walking, it improved so much.
Is that something she enjoyed?
She did, and the lady had to quit doing it, and then Sherry Brown with Sassy Tails, we go and she rides with them, and she loves it. So, and that has helped.
Sherry was on episode 4, I believe, and told the story and talked about Sassy Tails. And does Gemma work with her once in a while?
Oh, yes, Gemma is there.
They're big buddies, I bet.
Oh, she loves Audrey. She calls her Audrey. So
Audrey, okay.
Yes.
Well, that's appropriate for a horse. I mean, that's kind of a Western name anyway. Take me back to the time when you were sitting in that doctor's office and they told you of this diagnosis and how rare it was. In that instant, what were you feeling? What was going through your mind at that particular moment in time?
Well, I was a little shocked because I really wasn't expecting us to get an outcome, And then my next step was, where do we go from here? What have we got to do? We're not ones just to sit back. We wanted to get on the ball with her to help. Whatever she needed is what we wanted for her. So we were heartbroken, but you can't be that way for long.
How did you deal with that?
I'm not gonna lie, I shed a few tears, and then I prayed, and the good Lord told me, He said, I'm going to take care of her, and He has. She's come a long ways. So
well, no need to doubt that, is there?
No.
Any siblings or other kids in the picture?
She has 2 older brothers.
Okay.
And she loves them dearly.
How are they? How are they in the family dynamic? Are they on board with helping her and get along and all that?
Oh yeah, she's spoilt by them. Whatever she wants, them brothers, she's sister to them. That's what they call her. So.
She doesn't have to worry about anything, I'm sure.
No.
Well, that's always interesting to me. I grew up an only child. But my wife and I had 4 children, and when we were going through ours with our youngest son, it was neat to see how the other kids rallied around him and how they supported him. Our oldest son is autistic. He's just turned 28, and even he rallied around him. And there was, I think they had a special connection that none of the rest of us had. I'll always believe that, but it's always interesting to me to see how the siblings react to this special child now that's requiring all the attention.
Right.
Everybody's talking about them, extra help. And it's good to hear that they jumped right in and didn't miss a beat, and they're her biggest fan. That's great to hear.
Yes, they are her big cheerleaders. I will say that.
Well, that's good. You got to have that. You got to have
do.
that.
And she loves the attention too. So.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, good.
Oh, yes,
good
she
for
does.
her. Good for her. Is she in school at all, or is she at home all the time, or what's that like?
No, she's in school, and she loves school. She
Good.
thinks it's grand and wonderful when I drop her off and they get her out of the truck, and she tells me bye, and she's going on in that school like nobody's business.
She
So
takes off. Well, good deal.
she does.
How has the school system been in meeting accommodations and working with you as a parent?
They've been good. She's got a wonderful teacher now, and they have really helped. Audrey's really improved verbally with them, so I am
Okay.
we're happy. So she has really improved, especially this year. I think she's had a mental growth, and she's saying a lot more words and sentences than she has been. So.
Well, good. And is she at a grade level, or how do they have it set up there?
Yeah, they do a grade level, but I mean, if you go by age, she's in third grade, but
Yeah,
Audrey can't read and write.
I got you.
But now they can put certain things out and say, Audrey, point to the house, and she can point
Mm-hmm.
to the house, and and she can say house, but that's about. And they did tell me she has started with her colors a little bit. So I mean,
Okay.
we're getting there. We push her.
Yeah.
Sometimes she don't want us to, but she
Y'all
does
find
it.
y'all find a way to get through it.
We do. We do
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. How has this DNM-1 gene mutation affected daily life? What does daily life look like for Audrey?
Well, I have to dress her every morning. She
Mm-hmm.
can't dress herself. We have worked on that. She's gotten better with doing her pants, but
Yeah.
it takes me and my husband both getting her ready for bed at night or
Mm-hmm.
in the morning, helping her eat. She can feed herself certain things, but
Right.
sometimes she struggles. So, I mean, it's just, she has to have one-on-one care
Yeah.
24/7.
Well, and each child is different.
Yes.
Each child has different requirements and different challenges, and what works for one may not work for the next. So you have to personalize everything, I think, for that particular child, and it's important that the schools see that as well. I interviewed an educator not too long ago, and she said that her focus is she focuses on the child, not the diagnosis. If the
Yes.
child
That is true.
if the child can't do something,
Right.
is it because they can't do it, or they just don't know how to do it? And we need to teach them. We need to find a mechanism to teach them and get them to that point. And sounds like you guys are doing that and doing a good job with it too. I'm glad to hear the school system's very supportive.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, Exceptional Stories family. We've got something very exciting to share. We want to put the spotlight on you. If you're a special needs parent or caregiver, we want to hear your questions for an upcoming Q&A episode. Send in your questions via email to exceptionalstoriespodcast@gmail.com or leave us a 90-second voice message at speakpipe.com/exceptionalstoriespodcast. We're diving deep into the most common pain points faced by special needs parents, and your input will shape
this crucial conversation. I can't wait to hear from you. Let's make this Q&A episode truly exceptional.
Yes, and they love her. They think she does no wrong. And they tell me that quite often.
I'm sure, and she probably soaks all that up too, doesn't she?
Oh, she does. She runs with it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Let's talk about you for a second. How have you coped with the emotional and psychological aspects of doing this, of raising a special needs child? Every parent's different. Every parent's got things that work and don't work. So for you, what has been the secret to manage the emotional and the psychological aspects of this?
Well, some days you don't have time to sit back and think about it too much because she is needy or she's, and I'm just so busy. But then there's days that I do sit back and it's tough. I'm not gonna lie, but I do sit back and I just see how far she's come, and I just thank the good Lord that, for blessing me with her because she's taught me a lot, so about myself.
Like what I hear parents say that all the time, and I'm always inquisitive as to what has she taught you? What have you? I know what mine has taught me, but what specific things has she
She's
advanced you or taught you about?
Yes, slow down and enjoy life a little more because she does. If you watch Audrey, she is happy. She's one of the happiest kids you'll ever meet. And I have learned that it's okay not to be in a rush to do things, just to enjoy life. And we all should.
True. If we could slow down and see life through their eyes, I think it'd make a big difference.
I think it would too. It would too.
I really do believe that. Do you know of any specific support groups or organizations for this rare diagnosis?
On a Facebook page, there's a lady from Australia that her daughter has this, and she started this Facebook support page. And so me and her friends, and me and her had talked, and I told her that I was doing this, and I just said, I'd like to know how many kids are on our Facebook page, And so there's 125 all over the world. We have them from Mexico to the United States to Australia to Canada to UK, and the language barrier sometimes, we have a little trouble there, but we figure it out. So
now, is that 125 just on this group, or is that 125 diagnosis worldwide? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that has helped too. There's some resources there, and if nothing else, it's probably a place you can just vent on those tough days, and there's people that understand what you're going through.
There is, and some people say that their child has started doing, certain things, and what have y'all done? And we all relate and help with it. And then now Australia does a lot of research for this DNM-1, and she will put that on there, what they have found out for us to read, and so that's been very helpful too. And Germany too does a lot of the research for this.
Yeah, I had that down as a possible question to ask about if there had been any promising advancements or research and treatment and stuff like that. Doesn't sound like it's very busy in the United States, but in Germany and Australia, they're looking at it pretty hard and investigating it and doing stuff, sounds like.
Yes, and as of right now, there's different variants of the DNM-1, and Audrey is the only variant right now of her kind. So no other child has her variant. That's what when we talked to the doctor in Houston. So I guess you can say she's one of a kind.
She's unique.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, so that's so neat. Um, it's neat and they're unique like that, but I would think as a parent, it's also a little concerning because
It is.
there's not a lot of information to fall back on.
That is correct. And that scared us,
Yeah,
but you can't stay scared too long because you have to be on top of it and just,
yeah,
she's first and foremost trying to get
hmm
everything we can for her.
yeah.
And we've got a
How,
good support system, so
well, that's important too. I try to stress that with my parents when I talk to them. It's very important to have a support system, somebody that you can get information from, share information with, that's got your back in the tough times. And it's whether it's in a Facebook group or family or church or a medical group or whatever, you need that support system
yes, you definitely do.
because there's no need to do it by yourself.
No, no,
No.
it would be a hard road if you had to.
It would, and I'd hate to get to the end of that road and then realize, oh, you mean I could have done it this other way?
Yes, exactly.
I purposely made it harder on myself. Um,
Right.
how do you balance providing care for your child, providing care for Audrey, and taking care of yourself? I know that's a huge issue with parents and caregivers because you have to give 110%. You have to be, like you said, on the ball 24/7. But how do you balance taking care of her and taking care of you?
Well, my mother is wonderful. I could not do it without her. There'll be times that she can tell that I'm just exhausted, and she'll go, "Well, let Audrey come spend the night with me." And so she'll
Mm-hmm.
take her for the night just so I can have, everybody needs a moment to
Yeah, yeah,
themselves.
yeah.
So, and she'll do that, and that helps a lot tremendously.
That respite care like that is huge
Yes.
because it unless you've been a parent of a special needs child or a caregiver to one, you have no idea the pressure and the stress and everything that goes along with that. Unless you've been there, unless you've been part of it, and
Right.
being able to take that break is huge. I was interviewing a family several weeks ago, and they told me that they went to um, it was like a class or something. It was like a Mother's Day out, but it was for the special needs kids. And this mother came in, dropped her kid off, went out to her car, sat down in her car, locked the doors, laid her seat back, and took an hour and a half nap
Bless her
because
heart.
because at home she doesn't get that time.
Right.
But she knew that these people were trusted. They were going to take care of her child while their child was in there, and she could relax enough to go out to her car and take an hour and a
Right.
half nap. And we take that for granted. We
We
take that for
do.
granted so many times. So I'm glad you've got that good network there and a mom that'll help. And I'm sure mom helps spoils her a little bit too, doesn't she?
Oh, yes, she loves her Greta and her Pawpaw to no end.
Yeah, I've got two grandsons, and I would do anything for them. But their parents, I'm not, I'm not too fond of them. But the grandkids, they're great. I love the grandkids.
Exactly. That's probably
Don't
what
get,
my mom and daddy say too.
yeah, I'm sure. It's in the bylaws of the grandparents club. We have to go by that, no doubt. Um, what advice? What advice would you give to a couple or a single parent that has just been told that their child has been diagnosed with DNM-1 gene mutation? What can you tell them from your 6-7 years of being involved in this so far? What can you tell them to maybe make them feel like there is some hope?
I would tell them to take it day by day, do as much research as they can, and talk to the child's neurologist because we've become really good friends with him. We can just talk
Yeah.
to him like we've known him forever,
Mm-hmm.
and we haven't. But he is very, if he doesn't know it, then he's going to find out, and he helps
Mm-hmm.
us tremendously because there is not a lot of research on this. So it takes a village, and don't be
Yeah.
scared to ask for help.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to question things.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I didn't see in research on the limited amount of research I did before we came on, and you can help me with this if you would like, is because of this genetic disorder or genetic mutation, does that alter life expectancy any at all? Has any of that been addressed with this?
We did ask the doctor in Houston about that, and she
Mm-hmm.
did tell us that the studies that she has seen, because there's not a lot of older children with
Yeah.
this, but
Yeah.
the ones that have, they start degression when they get in their later teens. That's
Okay.
not something we wanted to hear,
Well, no.
but, I told my husband, I said, we're just going to take it day by day,
Yeah.
and, you know, that's all we can
I mean,
do.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, you can't sit
there's stuff.
around.
Go ahead.
You can't sit around and just wait on the inevitable. I mean, you've got to live life.
No.
You've got to have a quality of life as long as it's there.
That got us to pushing us harder to want to walk, to want to do
Yeah.
things, for herself. And
Mm-hmm.
and I think that has made her a very determined little girl because
Yeah.
there's things that she does now that we're like, hold up, Audrey, slow down, let us help you with that.
Do you have any indication, or do you think that she realizes that there's something going on, that she is different, unique, or does
Um,
she just go about life every day and just live it up?
She goes about life every day to live it up. She
Yeah.
did. I could tell, like, when she couldn't walk and she
Mm-hmm.
would see other kids her size getting around,
Yeah.
she wanted to go so bad. And that was heartbreaking. But now
Yeah.
we're not into running yet, but we're
Mm-hmm.
on the verge of that. So,
Okay. Well, get ready.
that'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Get ready. Go get you some track shoes and get ready to run with her.
Exactly. Let her go all day.
Yeah. Well, Valorie, I appreciate you coming on today and sharing this with us, and just giving us kind of an insight into this very rare situation. But it sounds like you and your network have got things going in the right direction. You've got good medical support, good school support, and good family support, and those are the three legs of the tripod, I think, that keeps helps keep everything balanced. But I appreciate you coming on, and I look forward to folks hearing this episode and hopefully getting some help from it. Is there anything you would like to share before we leave today that maybe we didn't cover?
No, I think we covered everything. I
Nope.
appreciate you having me and
All
letting
right.
me tell Audrey Lane's story.
Yeah,
To me, she's a special little girl. So,
she is that. They're all special in their own special kind of way.
yes, they are.
They are. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I look forward to talking with you again soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Before we go, I want to thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. If you are the parent of a special needs child and wish to share your story with us or know someone we should talk with on the show, send an email to exceptionalstoriespodcast@gmail.com. If you've been enjoying the show, we'd love to hear from you. If you can take a minute, just leave us a 5-star rating on your preferred podcast platform. It would mean the world to us. Your ratings help us reach more listeners and continue to bring the quality content that you've learned to enjoy. I also want to invite you to follow us on our social media pages. You can find us on both Facebook and Instagram at Exceptional Stories Podcast. Lastly, if you found this podcast informative and you would like to keep it going, Go to our website at www.exceptionalstoriespodcast.com. Click on the support button on our homepage. For as little as $3 per month, you can play an active role in making sure these stories are heard. Thank you for choosing to spend your precious time with us. Remember, you're not alone. Together, we'll create a world that embraces and supports every exceptional story. Until next week, be blessed.